Hello there, guys. What is going on? Son of Chelsea back here again for my rational perspective on Chelsea 1, Norwich 0. A massive 3 points. That's the big positive of the night. A big 3 points that puts Chelsea in a great position. Potentially in a couple of days' time, that result and those points could look even more vital in the race for Champions League qualification with our rivals playing a couple of days later than us. But fundamentally, I don't think I can get away from the performance tonight, which was so unconvincing, not enjoyable to watch. I think personally for me, you could have swapped that game with the likes of, the defeats to West Ham this season, Bournemouth, Southampton at home, those really irritating defeats at home. I think the only difference today was we did not concede, really didn't give away actually many clear chances in reflection, and scored with really the chance of the game in the end of the first half, basically from, of course, Christian Pulisic's wonderful ball in for Olivier Giroud. Once again, Christian Pulisic saving Chelsea and adding that little bit of inspiration when we needed it to get us out of a hole, because personally, for me, I think that is still, I can't get away from it. For me, that was a really poor performance. I think it was all round. I think a bit like Saturday in a different way, I think I have to give the criticism to Frank Lampard. And I know how harsh this is because it's a win at the end of the day and I should be really happy, and I am happy. But just watching that game unfold against a side who are already relegated, who've been battered in recent weeks, I felt Chelsea in the first half were so passive. I was surprised in the team selection in the sense that both Kovacic and Jorginho played, and I felt that was almost a safe move by Frank Lampard, because I would have liked to have seen either Ross Barkley start or Mason Mount start, just to add that energy. I felt that both Kova and Georgie, especially in that first half, were getting in each other's way, basically doing the same job. It was so passive in possession. It was side to side. Yes, Giroud probably could have had a hatful. There were some good balls that went into the box in the first half, and Giroud fluffed his lines, and eventually a cross went in that Giroud headed into the goal at the end of that first half. But it was so passive, and it's not Frank Lampard's Chelsea. Frank Lampard's Chelsea, from what we've seen this season in its best aspects, it's fast, it's pressing wise, it's fast movement, it's pacey, it's energetic, it's the likes of Mason Mount, who didn't feature at all tonight, and that was a big concern to me as the game drew on. For different reasons. I think the first half performance, in the sense that it was one of those things where Chelsea against a low block can't break them down really. Eventually we do break them down, which is the big difference, and the winning goal for Olivier Giroud. But it was so similar, wasn't it? I think I felt like I was back at Stamford Bridge in the winter watching those Groundhog Days where we lost to those inferior sides. And then today, in the second half, it was another sort of level of frustration for me. Chelsea lost control. I mean, it wasn't like in that second half you were sort of thinking, okay, Chelsea needs to have a little bit more pace to break down Norwich a bit more. We seemed to lose all control. Norwich regained the ball a bit more, and it felt like, for me, Chelsea were just almost hoping to run the clock down. I don't know what we were trying to do in that second half. Chelsea attacking wise, it got better as the half went on, especially when Frank finally made those substitutions to bring Callum Hudson-Odoi, Ross Barkley, Tammy Abraham, Reece James with some brilliant balls into the box once again that should have been capitalised on to make it a bigger scoreline. But I just felt game management for me, once again, by Frank Lampard. It's concerning to me the fact that those players went out in the second half, and whether they're following instructions or not, it just looked for a large majority we were losing control of that game. Norwich were gaining in confidence, and once again, when you watch the highlights of that game, Kepa basically had nothing to do all night. But I don't think any Chelsea fan can look me in the eye and tell me they are convinced after that performance, going into Man United on Sunday, going into the Wolves game and the Liverpool games, that are massive for Champions League qualification. They really are. And it just concerns me. It does, based on the importance of tonight. The result is the result, and winning means everything, absolutely, at this point in the season. I saw people on Twitter before the game saying, I'll take a 1-0, but in the manner, the way that 1-0 was achieved, considering the opponent at the time, considering I felt this was a great opportunity for Chelsea to gain some confidence, start playing some good football, maybe get some goals on the board, and feel confident going into that FA Cup semi-final and the remaining games. We just did not do that. It was nervy, it was cagey, it was frustrating, it was irritating, it was sluggish, it was lethargic at times. And I think I have to be critical, because my worry is performances dragging on into next games. Result is everything, of course, but this dragging into the game against Man United on Sunday, and then subsequently the remaining Premier League games that will define our season. I think in terms of players, Jorginho, I think, was at times being outrun in that game. I think he was quite poor on the ball. The one thing you want with Jorginho is, if he's going to get outrun, at least, passing wise, I think passing, he was really poor today. I think giving the ball away several times. You want players like Kovacic and Jorginho on the pitch for that control. I think for large parts of that second half, very reminiscent of the Palace game last week where we lost control. I feel that, later on, maybe Norwich tired or, the fresh legs of the Chelsea players helped that. The two biggest positives are quite clearly Olivier Giroud and Christian Pulisic. I mean, Giroud nearly set up Pulisic for a goal in the second half, Tim Krul having to make the save. They were Chelsea's two biggest positives tonight. I think Giroud, what a player he's been for Chelsea this season. So much respect for his professionalism this season, and he has scored some absolutely massive goals. Once again, that first half was mostly frustrating for him, and the night in truth was probably frustrating for him. But when he got the chance finally, he did take it, which was massive for Chelsea. And I believe that's now the three times in a row he started games and he's broke the deadlock for Chelsea. Just shows you once again why he should be starting for Chelsea ahead of Tammy Abraham at the moment. That anticipation in the box. Christian Pulisic just adds that magical element at the moment, and you feel like Christian Pulisic, whilst other players will play safe passes across the box or go for the safe option, Pulisic has that not only capability but confidence in himself to do it. That was a wonderful ball into the box. Sure, poor defending from Norwich, but just having the ability and the confidence and the eye to do that at that moment won Chelsea the game. It really did. I was a little bit surprised Pulisic did get taken off. Maybe it was fitness, but for a player, for at least those remaining 10 minutes, I don't think Callum Hudson-Odoi did a bad job when he came on. I felt looked very energetic, and hopefully we'll see more of him in the coming games. But still, I think Pulisic, absolute inspiration for Chelsea, and that's what gives Chelsea fans hope. You've always got that option of Christian Pulisic on the pitch, that he can do something magical and can maybe give Chelsea inspiration when we don't really have it. Those are my thoughts on the game. Probably the most negative I could be after what may turn out to be a massive 3 points in Chelsea season. But I think, as you guys maybe will explain and agree with me in the comments, is the performance-wise, I just don't think it was good enough for Chelsea tonight. And I really hope that is rectified for the next games, because we're going to need it against high-level opposition. And if Chelsea perform like that again, we won't get away with it again. It's pretty simple. So those are my thoughts on the game. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this review. If you did enjoy it, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Follow me on Twitter @SonofChelsea, and I'll see you again.